Ah, there we go. Hopefully now you can hear me. Trying to add a few moderators here, so so how's everybody doing tonight? So let's see here. There we go. Anyone that wants to jump up is more than welcome. Hey Dallas, how you doing? Kind of early to go to bed there, Mike. So ACC, can you try that link and see if it's letting you come up or? So did you all think of Patriot Catfisher show tonight? That was pretty good. I thought there when Stan got up there and finally got my muskrat sticker. Yeah, I can't wait till it comes up this weekend again. It was really good last week, and especially Patriot out there with that doll. Yeah, there you are.
Hey, what's up?
So how you doing there, Mike?
Not too bad.
Hopefully Stan will jump in here before much longer. He was going to come up.
Yeah, hopefully. I think my turn should come up here as well.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go to bed though.
Yeah, all the boys should be in bed with this time, huh? Oh, I got
So Booter, you got quite a bit of squeal there, bud.
So I like my background race.
I haven't been out lately there, Mike. Wanting to get out here within the next day or two. That's your TV there in the background, Booter?
Probably.
All right, well. So when's the next time you're going out fishing there, Tim? You got your mic muted there, ACC.
Yeah, I know the wife. Yeah, I know the wife's on my fucking TV. So
Well, I hear that. I got skunked 5 times in a row. I definitely think I was doing something wrong.
especially when his little brother outfishes him and gets that one.
Yeah, you just wish you could outfish me there, Booter. Well, come on up here, Mike. You never know, Mike. You might catch a new personal best. Hey, not a clue. How's it going, Mark?
Hey, not a clue. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
How do I set it to where it automatically will show all messages?
You gotta click on the thing to bring it up on the screen.
Hmm. Oh, there we go. Hey, there's the man himself. How's it going, Stan?
Hey.
Now we're all in trouble.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, buddy.
How's it going, Stan?
How we doing, Ace?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you good.
I'm doing all right. Let's see.
Doing good.
Okay. ACC. I'm having audio issues.
That's not good. You able to hear me there, Booter?
I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Yeah, Ace, you sound like the Ace-tron.
That ain't good.
Well, it should be good. I got full Wi-Fi where I'm at.
Now I sound better than Ace.
No, I don't even. That any better, Booter?
I heard you clear now.
That's good. I just had to close down.
There you go. Now I, no, I think you froze again.
No, I should be fine. Yeah, I hope. Hey, Stan, do me a favor and type something in the chat.
Should I go out and come back in?
No, just type something in chat. I can't find you. Type something in the chat. I can't find your name for some reason. I think Stan froze. Oh, there he's back.
How about now?
No, for some reason it's not showing you in chat. Hey, Lyle, how you doing?
Showing up good on my StreamYard screen.
Huh.
You want me to go out and try to come back in?
Yeah, if you could. I was trying to find you in chat to make you a mod.
All right, I'll close out. I'll come back in and see what happens.
How you doing tonight, Mr. Lyle? Yeah, I still feel kind of bald there, Mark, waiting for that hat to come. There we go. Got you now, Stan. There,
How
we're
we
back.
doing? How we doing now?
Doing good now that I got you in there as a mod finally. Lyle, Mark, any of you want to come up? Come on up. I'm more than glad to have
Hey,
you.
what's up, everybody? Well, that's quite the reels you got back there behind you, Ace.
Yeah, I wish they were real instead of just green screen, but
hey, that's the first step, right?
yeah. Well, I'll have to get this JP sent to you there, so you can put it up in the background too, and then we can be the real fishing, the real bait shop anyway.
Hey, well, we're gonna try, aren't we?
Yeah. We'll end up having to be the old fart bait shop, because Chad and them, they're all younger than we are.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we'd have a good time doing that.
Yeah.
I'm unfortunately right now I still can't see chat, but I got my finally found my tablet and I got that charging right now.
You know how to split screen, right?
Ace, I don't have to do anything.
All right, down on the bottom, your taskbar or wherever it is, you've got your main page. If you right click that, it'll say open a new window for Explorer. And then
well, I'm on my phone.
Oh, all right. Otherwise, if you were on like laptop, desktop, something like that, you'd be able to bring it up in another tablet and bring up YouTube as well.
I might get into the 2000 years one of these days and get an actual computer, but now it's phone, and I thought I was doing good when I had my little tablet that my girls got for me a couple Christmases ago.
Hey, Mikey, Mike, to answer that question, that's the prehistoric bait shop with Dockery. He's up there above Lyle and the rest of us.
Have you mentioned anything, Ace?
No, not at all yet.
Should we say anything about what we were talking about, or just wait to the big premiere?
Oh, that'd be fine. We can talk about it now.
Well, like I said, I don't have anything to see comments in front of me, but I really enjoy doing this kind of thing, and Ace really enjoys doing this kind of thing, and it seems like that our people that are in chat kind of like doing this kind of thing. So Ace and I have been kind of talking, everybody's got pretty much their set nights, the 8 o'clocks, and the premiere shows, and it leaves a void on nights like tonight. There was nothing on after an awesome show that Patriot James had on, and then it's kind of the night's over. Well, I'd like to, maybe we have a void where we can fill that void every now and then, and just for people that want to just keep talking or have something else they want to talk about, Ace and I are trying to work something out where we can kind of fill that need.
Yeah, and have all of you, jump in time to time and talk about whatever with us. I'll give you back the floor there, Stan.
Nah, I just I'm usually kind of a quiet and shy, reserved kind of person, as everybody can tell. But no, really, it's this is what I used to manage restaurants for 20 years. So that was job of a manager is mostly to be a talker. You've got to work between, especially in restaurants. You're dealing with your guests and you're dealing with your upper manager. So that's the person's job. As a good manager is a talker. They want somebody that can talk to anybody. So that's kind of where we're. And most people know I had my accident, and I'm pretty much. I went from seeing thousands of people a day to seeing nobody. And so that was a decade ago, and you kind of forget who you are sometimes. And these past couple months, as I'm progressively getting out there and talking to our people and stuff, it kind of reminds you who you are a little bit. And It's a really enjoyable venue, and who doesn't love catfishing? So just one of those things that I think it's going to be a good idea, and if people want to stop by and talk and chat and hang out, that's what we'll do, and we'll see how it goes.
Hello, Rattletrap. How you doing? I don't know if you've met Rattletrap or not there, Stan. He's pretty decent.
No, I'm going to have, you had mentioned that the other day, and I've got to go search up the link unless, well, I guess you can give it to me afterwards, but yeah, I'll definitely get subscribed to him.
Rattletrap Fishing, he's here right now in chat. I just stuck the link up there. You want to hop up in here, Rattletrap? You're more than welcome. Kevin from Palmetto Cats, he just popped in. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. So we're getting quite the crowd out there. Has anybody got any questions or anything?
Maybe we can be honored and get Kevin to jump up in here with us from Palmetto.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be working on getting that back screen probably tomorrow or the next day. I think we got to bring the dog to the vet in a couple of days. So
yeah, we good. Hello, Crystal. How you doing?
So how's everything going out your way, Ace? Have you done any fishing lately?
No, I'm hoping here to get out within the next day or two.
Well, I tell you, I know everybody, it's probably going over old news, but what a great time I had this past weekend. That the Couples Challenge tournament, it was just what a blast.
You know, it looked like you and the wife were having a lot of fun out there, and it was cool seeing you and Patriot getting your wives out there.
Yeah, you know, my wife loves fishing, and I kind of put my foot in my mouth because she had forgotten most of those fish that I had let go on her. She's like, "Oh yeah, you son of a, you did let all those fish go." But she's always loved fishing. Her favorite is she loves catfishing because, you know, we're just you got the chairs out there, you got your baits out, that's been mostly that's our family type fishing where you bring the granddaughters out and everybody's just kind of relaxing and you have a good time. And we used to live on a lake in upstate New York, and there was a lot of bass in that lake, and it had deep spot. It was a, you know, perfect type lake where you had all your different type of situations. You had rock, you had timber, you had weeds, lily pads, shallow, deep, and mostly in that lake there was some we had bullheads and whatnot. We really didn't have much catfish, but it was bass, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, pickerel, some northern pike, that type of thing. And her favorite is spinnerbait fishing.
Yeah. Talking about spinnerbait fishing, you know, Backroads and Bass put out that lure challenge where he's sending the lure around the country. You get a week to catch a fish. He didn't specifically say what type. Well, if you don't catch your fish within a week's time, you got to eat crickets. Well, Backroads got his. It took him 2 days to catch a bass. He sent it to Not a Clue. It took Not a Clue 2 days to get one. Plus, Not a Clue had to wait out and get the lure because he snagged it.
Uh-oh.
it got sent here to Wisconsin to Section 8 Outdoors. Well, Section 8 Outdoors took it out this morning, and within an hour, he had a really nice northern. Well, that just showed right there that us Wisconsin boys, we can teach them Southern boys how to fish.
Hey now. Let's not get carried away. I am in Virginia. I'm originally from Louisiana. Hey, to my Cajun brothers down there, but originally from Louisiana, and now I'm a little south of that Mason-Dixon line here in Virginia, and we do our share of old LG Bass and One Thumb Fishing Club, and you got DMV, Whisker King. We do all right.
Yeah. But it made me laugh when Section 8 did that. In under an hour, had a real nice little northern.
I'll tell you what, northern, if you haven't done that type of fishing, I know it's not too much of it down here in the South, but if you haven't done that type of pickerel, pike, that type of fishing, man, it is just something you can't, it's hard to describe. Bass blow up a top water, but when you have a giant pike come out and that V comes out and it smashes that top water, it's just, and then you're reeling in a 3-4 foot long fish with teeth that look like you got a shark's mouth in it. That's a undescribable kind of feeling too. I remember my friend's son, he came over one day and I'm like, well, my son's not here. He's like, well, I didn't come here to see him. I was hoping you'd bring me out fishing. So we get in the boat and we go out, and he had a pickerel on that was maybe, a little chain pickerel. It was maybe a foot or so. Well, he's reeling it in, and out of nowhere, we never landed it, but this thing had to be 4.5 foot long. Just came out and it just smashed that little chain pickerel. And to this day, this has got to be 15, probably 15 or 16 years ago. And he still, every once in a while, when he's on the phone with my son, says, ask your dad about that big fish that I had.
Hey, One Ton, how you doing? Good night, Kevin. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you, Palmetto. What's up, One Ton?
I want to get out here shortly and do a little bit of muskie fishing. They're hitting pretty good here at Harstead Park, so.
Yeah, now's the time of year.
Yeah.
Gets over that summertime heat. The fall weather starts coming in a little bit.
Yeah.
They definitely start putting. It goes from the fish of 10,000 casts down to maybe about 5,000.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
I've had it here in Harstead Park. The water's usually always clear this time of the year there. You wade out a little ways and, maybe waist deep. It's kind of cold, but you can damn near step right on them, drop a hook lure right in front of them, and they won't even chase it. They claim they're running right now, so I'm going to go out probably here in a day or two and give that a try. If not, I'll start casting out for catfish.
Well, I've always been that type of. In New York, it kind of sucked because you can only have 2 poles, which is, you kind of live with it. But down here in Virginia, you can have whatever. But even in New York, I would always have a live bait pole out, and then I would, whatever fish I was targeting, then I'd have lures where I'm trying to catch them. But I always had a live bait pole out, and even down here in Virginia, when I'm catfishing, I'll have. In the James River, anytime you go out, you got a chance to catch you got a chance. There's 100-pounders out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always have my big meat rods out with half a shad on it or whatever. And then I'll have my other, smaller baits or whatnot where you got a better chance of catching, just catching fish. But
it's like here, we're allowed 3 rods, but then we can only have 1 hook per rod, so. Kind of
Wow.
stinks there.
Yeah, I don't understand some of the regulations that, and if you really try to go, you pretty much need a law degree to try to figure out most of the, you need a law degree, you need to be a surveyor. Like I've tried to read some of the things about like the James River here in Virginia, and it's from point connecting longitude this and that at this level, from here in Richmond to this level of the whatever so-and-so bridge, and then the language that's used, instead of just making it easy, common sense laws that everybody could understand and follow. I mean, look at how many experienced fishermen we have, and how many times do you hear where people are saying, well, I'm not sure. They said that if it's, you can use this and that for bait as long as it's caught by rod and reel, but I'm not sure. It's hard to read. I couldn't find anything on it. You know, if they would just make that stuff cut and dry and put out simple rules, it'd be a lot easier for everybody to follow.
Yeah. Oh, I caught too what you were saying there earlier in the Patriots show about Navionics. I was going to go out and actually get a card and purchase that app tomorrow, but with what you were saying about it, I don't think I'm going to waste my money on it. Being a bank fisherman, I don't ever get out on a boat. It's not going to do me any good if it's not going to show the depths.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm old school technology, so yeah, I'm not sure if it was something that I didn't do right or look at, or I just saw it and I knew that the holes that they had holes weren't holes there. And you know, to me, it was way off from where I had saw things from me being on the river.
Huh?
And I prefer bank fishing, but we had the boat, and I had been doing some boat fishing and stuff out there, and it had, you know, we didn't have any of the new school technology, but we had the old depth, you know, where it showed the depth and whatnot. Just didn't have any of like the side view or any of the other type stuff. And
that's what I'm kind of looking for, is something that'll show me just how deep it is here, what holes are where, and
yeah. So I'm gonna give the free version another shot when I go down there and try to see if it's any different when I'm out there. But what I've seen so far, just for my section of the James right there, it wasn't correct. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've heard other people say also that it's much better on lakes where you have like everybody talks about Lake Wylie and whatnot, where you have multiple people going over it and updating the numbers all the time, that it tends to not be as accurate in the rivers as it does for lakes and whatnot. That's just what I've heard people say.
Yeah, because I fish along the rivers all the time, you know, Clare and the Chippewa and Black River. Sometimes I'll go down by the Fox River, Mississippi. But I'm looking for that depth. And if it's not going to show the depth, that's not going to do me a lot of good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing with bank. It's tough because you know, in New York there seemed to be a lot more state land and public areas and whatnot. It's tough finding them down here up in the Richmond area. I've found some, but you know, and I haven't been down here too long yet, and I had spent more years up there, so maybe that's a difference. But you know, you're only limited to any spots that you can publicly go, so you try to do the best you can with where you can go. And you're right, if you could have something like Navionics, and I know Google Earth, I've been trying to do looking up some of the Google stuff and trying to pick that stuff up.
Well, I've watched this Catfish and Carp Luke. He put it out. He used this big heavy lure and he put it on his rod, and then he stuck a pop bottle that he crushed down, tied it so he could tell the depth. He'd cast his weight out there and pull that bottle down. I've been doing that, so.
That's funny. That was one of the I'm going to do a video on that myself. That was one thing my father always did. That was an old trick from back in the day. How to find the drop offs and whatnot. And another thing, if you've never fished an area before, and you don't like losing a lot of tackle and whatnot, you know, especially when sinkers. Now, if you're not making them yourself, and you're spending like, my son had gotten a lot of, once I wasn't fishing for a little bit there, he kind of, so all of a sudden, a lot of my terminal tackles seemed to be, I'm like, I know I had some 6 ounce, some 5 ounce, some 4 ounce sinkers, and I just couldn't find them anymore for some reason. And, you know, and trying to stock some of that stuff back up, they wanted like $6 for a 3-pack of 3 ounce sinkers. You're talking like $2-3 a sinker. I was like, man, this is crazy.
No.
I used to use rocks and a rubber band in place of this way. If you know, you tie your line onto the rubber band, or you tie it onto a swivel, hook that on the rubber bands, and you got the rock on there. Especially if it's an area where you know you're gonna. I mean, back in the day, it used to be bolts or old spark plugs or this or that.
No.
But I'll tend to use rocks a lot of times. This way, you're not doing any damage to the river. You're not spending $2 on a sinker that it's going to get snagged. And if it's an area that I've never been to, I'll cast that out, do like a fan pattern, and reel it back in slow across the bottom. And you can feel if you hit rock on rock, or if you're dragging through mud or weeds or brush. You can
when I was younger, I got all my weights for free.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I was smart enough. I went to the scrapyards in the area. Every scrapyard, they take the tires and rims off the vehicles.
Yeah.
So I'd tell them, hey, I'll go out and I'll pull all the tires off the vehicles as they come in. I want the lug nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, back in the day, if it was heavy, you tied it on. That was your sinker.
I'd go home with all kinds of lug nuts every day.
But yeah, the old school ways. I remember the way pretty much I was taught to fish was with a hand line. And you know, my father being from Louisiana, he lived there most of his life, and I was born down there, and I was down there just for a little bit, but running trot lines and limb lines, and you got your jug lines, and you know, that was catfishing down there, but that was either, you know, subsistence fishing. They ate all that they caught when you're out running trot lines and whatnot.
No.
But that was how I was taught about fishing. Then when I was younger, when we lived in New York, we'd go to a couple of spots, and my father he'd tie a rope around me, and the where your water is, the lesser the ice, you know, you got more light in that area and whatnot. So I'd go fish the lesser areas where it was a thinner ice, but I'd have the rope around me, so I was, you know, safe. I was safe by old school standards.
You just think you were safe because Dad was probably thinking, fall through, I'll let loose of the rope.
Yeah.
That's what my dad used to tell me all the time when we did that on the ice too, and I never got gutsy enough to get out there.
Oh yeah. Hey, I was if I could catch a fish, I was willing to do anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try ice fishing again this year, hopefully.
I used to love ice fishing, but like I said, I used to live right on the lake, so our ice fishing was we'd have the hole set up, and my house faced the lake. Right out the dining room window you could see the whole lake right out the dining room window. So we'd go set our holes up out there. And I used to use, I'd have tip-ups and whatnot, but I like to do was put the poles in an ice holder. And basically when you got for your ice rods, it's pretty much a piece of metal that goes around on the bottom like that. And you kind of you put the wet ice up on there and pack it in. Then it comes up and it's got the swirly metal. You put the handle down in there, and when you pack that down, and I'm sure you've done a lot of ice fishing before. You pack that in, that sucker is there. It's not coming out.
No.
Then you get it set down to the bottom and get it all set up to the right depth and everything. And I would put a rubber band down around the handle, clip the bail open, pull the line through that rubber band, and I'd tie an orange flag. So we'd have the orange flag tied on all the poles. We'd stay out there a few minutes, in case you're catching all the active fish that are biting right away. Well, if we didn't get anything in a few minutes, we'd walk back on up to the house, sit at the dining room table, drink coffee and whatnot, and just sit there and watch the flags. After a while, the flag would go down, and so we'd go running back out, get them set up again, and come back in and have another cup of coffee.
All right, later, Mike. Yeah. Last time I was out ice fishing was, I'm going to say at least 20 some years ago. Me and a buddy, I went out with a buddy, he just bought a new Chevy pickup, and we got out on Lake Eau Claire. And there's a channel that heads down toward the dam. And we got just at the mouth of that, and I says, no, stop, let me out. I got out, and I think he got about 30, 35 feet farther down. The truck went through the ice, and I was just glad I got him to stop and let me out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's it doesn't take much ice to hold. I think it's every inch of ice is 200 pounds or 300 pounds or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but the issue is you only got 4 or 5 inches of ice. Yeah, that can hold 1,000 pounds, but you get that weak spot where there's a current coming through or a spring popping up. Well, instead of that 5 inches that's around it everywhere else, you get that area that's only got 2 inches, and there you go.
That's what we figured after the current went, or the truck went through the ice, is he was out over where the current was washing it away, so it was pretty thin. And
yeah, that was, the lake that I was on pretty much. I mean, I remember times where it was, the month of January and February, you were lucky if with the wind chill it ever got up above 0, yet alone freezing.
I'm just hoping this year up here we get enough cold to get thick enough ice to go out. I don't think the ice last year got over 3 inches in spots.
Yeah, even it was
mild winter.
Where I'm at here in Virginia, there's never, we'll get a cold spell every now and then and get a snowstorm now and then, but it might last a few days or a week, and then it's 60.
I watched the news last winter, and there's all kinds of vehicles, snowmobiles, all that went through last year. And
yeah, well, that's the thing. People are used to what used to be, and not used to checking some different spots. And that's what I always would do when we were on the lake, is I would check the spots that I knew were the weakest spots, and if that was thick or that was good, then you were okay.
Welcome back to Rattle Trap.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go check his channel out.
Well, he's a pretty good guy. He's from Florida down there. And,
well, we won't hold that against him.
He was out driving around today, him and Francis. It's Curtis and Francis is their names. They were showing off a real nice spot, I thought, to fish. Real nice looking little dock on the lake.
Yeah, my mother-in-law lives down in Florida, outside of Tampa, out in Zephyr Hills. And I always look forward to going down there to visit, because it gets me fishing in Florida.
Been to Florida once, and we went down to a Tampa, and they had this nice white sandy beach, and we had blue carpet in the van. Well, needless to say, once we got the 6 kids loaded back in the van, blue carpet went from blue to white.
Kids can get some sand, can't they? Oh
Yeah,
my word.
forever to vacuum that stuff out of that van too. That sand is so fine down there.
Yeah, for people that live right by the beach, I'd have to find out. I don't know how they do it. Like we've rented, you know, uh, vacation whatnot, where you're on the beach or whatnot, and you got the house or the hotel room or whatnot for a few days, a week, whatever, and just to try to, you got sand in everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how they keep it out of things. It's just everywhere, and that's even with having the shower outside where you try to hose stuff off and everything ahead of time, and still it's in the bed, it's it's in the fridge, it's everywhere.
Well, Curtis, feel free to hop up in here, buddy.
So what do we got? 3 people working?
It says 7.
Woohoo!
So we're not doing too bad.
Could be worse.
No, I think we'll probably do pretty good once we start up our own show. And
Yep. Yeah. Because there is that. I know many nights I've been, you know, if like DMV is live or something like that after some other shows, let's go watch live fishing. But on nights like tonight, the show ended and I'm like, I'm still wide awake. I wouldn't mind talking about fishing for a few more hours.
that's like Mark. Someday, maybe Mark will let me on the show, but I'm going to say I highly doubt it because Mark knows that I grew up down there where he's fishing and living at. So he knows I could actually give up all of his good fishing spots.
Is he out there still?
I think he's still there in chat. Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, my buddy Mark. I'm truly honored. I'll never ever have a bad word to say about Mark because I was his first ever guest. So
Mark's a real good guy. I got to give him credit. You know, down there where he's at, I fished that whole area when I was growing up as a kid. And one of the best spots, Mark, and I'm going to give your spot away right now, is when you go into McHenry, Illinois on 120 and you're headed toward Lily Lake. All right. Just as you come over that bridge there in McHenry on 120 off to the right-hand side, there's a boat shop. And just maybe, I'm going to say 60 feet down is the McHenry sewage plant, water treatment plant. Well, in between that boat dock and that plant is some of the best flathead fishing you'll ever find. It's like they just swarm into that corner because of that warm water coming into the river. So yeah, Mark, I just wrecked one of your spots.
I'm shot.
Next time he goes out, he's going to be on that corner fishing.
Yeah, and one of the 10 of us is going to be there, right?
I'll never forget that boat marina there. My grandfather, when we lived down there, he had this big cabin cruiser, all wood. I used to live practically on that thing in that marina.
Yeah, when I was younger, if in the summertime, I was doing, you know, back in the day when kids actually had chores to do, you know, I'd do them in the morning. My father would always wake me up early and they would be done. And if I wasn't playing baseball or softball, I was out fishing. And my friend and I used to snorkel. We would do, like, you know, most people take a canoe trip or a tube trip or whatnot. My friends and I would snorkel down the Neversink and the Delaware Rivers up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd sit there. I'd have a stringer tied off on my shorts. I have a little ice fishing pole with a little reel, and I'd actually be underwater fishing. You actually, it's fun. It's almost like spearfishing, except you're literally getting them to bite your bait still underwater. And we'd catch it, and I'd hook them on the stringer, and we'd go down some more. And between the fish that we would see and the stuff that wallets and watches and fishing poles and lures and weight, I mean, it's amazing the stuff that from canoes being tipped and whatnot. Delaware River was a big canoe. They would actually had a bunch of companies that would actually run people up a few miles up the river and then drop them off and then pick them back up. Because where I lived I wasn't too far from the Port Jervis, New York area, which is where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania come together, where it's only a couple hours out of the city, out of New York City. So in the summertime, that was the big thing. All the city people we're going to the country.
Hey, Mark, do you ever do any carp fishing? This is one video I'd love to see Mark do down there. You go out in McHenry toward Woodstock, you'll come to Wonder Lake. And instead of on the McHenry side of Wonder Lake, go to the opposite side, take 120 to Thompson, take Thompson up to Shady Lane, turn right on Shady Lane, go down the hill. At the bottom, you hang a left, and it's not even a block. And you're at the park there in Wonder Lake. I'd love to see him do a fishing video down there catching carp. There's some nice sized carp in that lake.
There's a lake around here that I want to go carp fishing at. I think after hearing Michael Murillo talk about all the carp, that I think I'm going to give it a shot again. But our carp fishing we used to do back in the river up in New York was all we used was night crawlers. They were just there, so you didn't have to do the pack bait and the where they throw out the spread of the corn and whatnot. They just were in that area, and we caught more on night crawlers than anything else.
And my grandparents had a house over on Shady Lane there in Wonder Lake, and I pretty much lived there almost year round. My parents, we grew up, we were in McHenry there in Lakeland Park, but I'd go over to my grandparents' house and I'd fish that Wonder Lake all the time. And there was nothing to catch 75-pound carp down there. It was easy.
Yeah.
They're just huge in that lake.
Yeah, I've seen, like I said, when we used to snorkel the rivers, it's crazy when you go snorkeling by and you're swimming with fish that are over 4 foot long.
Yeah, McHenry Dam used to be that way back in the 70s. I mean, there was huge carp and cats in that.
Yeah, carp isn't like a petite, even if, it's not long and petite. They got shoulders on them carp. Yeah. And man, you hit them and you're going down there, and next you know, there it is, just a couple feet away from you. It just seen a fish that, even though no teeth and whatnot, it's not going to hurt you, but it still just shocks you the first couple times you're swimming next to something that big.
I used to love catching them as a kid. They put up such a fight. Yeah,
that's what my wife said when that carp of hers got away. That I couldn't fit in the net.
But I always fished, pretty much McHenry, the bottom side, the dam down. And I could tell you every good spot in that river, Fox River. Yeah, I think probably gonna end up calling here quick for the night there, Stan.
Sure.
And we'll get together and we'll set up a time to go live again there.
That sounds good to me. And then by then I'll hopefully have my tablet all ready to go so I can actually see the chat too. And
Well, I'll see if I get this photo sent. I can probably send it through Facebook to you. So
yeah,
screen and that. And
all I gotta do is get that little green sheet there, and I'll be good to go.
yeah.
And I'm gonna go get that the stand that you were telling me about.
PVC pipe and
Yeah, well, I meant for the camera and stuff too. So
yeah.
Right now I got it in a little. I got it in my little phone case. It's got that little clip-on thing in the back, and you got to balance it out. And
you probably won't see it too good with the green screen, but
no, the ONN. Yep. I saw it. I looked it up today, and they have that at my Walmart.
that's good. They're really nice. They got the phone mount that screws to the top of it, and they got the GoPro mount. And I actually,
like I do.
used mine today. I set it up, and Half Crazy come down. He did his knife unboxing from Ojisan. I uploaded the video on him for him. So
That was some knife. I saw that.
that
was got the knuckle buster and everything with that. That was a nice knife.
Yeah, I was trying to talk him out of it, but that was a no-go. He come down here and I recorded the video for him and then went and uploaded it for him. And
yeah, you don't want to carry that all the way back home. You can just leave that here.
that's what I was telling him. I mean,
see?
it's 2 doors down the hall. Somebody might get you and you might get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I'll let you get going off of here, and it's been good chatting with everybody out there.
Yeah, nice having everybody come in, and
we'll talk to you tomorrow, Ace, and we'll see what we're doing from there.
All righty, we'll catch you then, bud.
All right, hey, y'all have a good night.
It's a very good night tonight, but it does.